Okay, then with any further ado, I'll call this meeting to order. Pledge of Allegiance, the flag, please.
Oh.
Randy, do you want to lead us today?
Sure, so I got a flag right here.
Wait for the flag. Oh, we got a flag. Look, Randy's got a flag. Are you going to put one up or
Yes.
are we going to use that one? Okay, we'll wait for yours then.
Okay, if you're ready, I pledge allegiance to the flag
flag of
of
the United States of America
and
and to the republic for which
for
it
which
it
stands,
stands,
one nation under God,
under God,
under
indivisible,
indivisible,
with justice for
liberty
all.
and justice for all.
Well, we are about as off key as we can be there.
I know the little down at the bottom keeps changing people as people are talking or saying the Pledge of Allegiance. Anyway, okay. Invocation, I will say today. We ask the Heavenly Father in thy infinite wisdom to guide the members of this board in such a way that all their thoughts, endeavors, and decisions will be made for the betterment of the entire community. We also beseech thee to protect our country and our people from all conflicts, both foreign and domestic.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Roll call, please.
Director Sewell,
Here,
Director Grasha,
Here.
Director Duncan,
Here,
Vice President Martin,
here,
President Wright.
Here.
Thank you. We have quorum.
Thank you. Rules of procedure, Mr. Pinckney.
Yes, according to the rules of procedure adopted by the board, all notice meetings are conducted using Rosenberg's Rules of Order as a procedural guideline. Directors should refrain from responding directly to public comments at meetings of the board. The president of the board presides at all meetings and decides all points of order and procedure during meetings. The president is responsible for the maintenance of order and decorum at all board meetings. No person should be allowed to speak who has not first been recognized by the president. All questions and remarks should be addressed to the president as a presiding officer. No member of the board should speak more than once upon any one subject until every other member of the board wishing to speak on the subject shall have been given an opportunity to speak. No board member shall interfere with the orderly progress of a board meeting. In order to ensure the orderly progress of board meetings, the board president regulates the amount of time to be dedicated to a particular agenda item.
Thank you. Dory, do we have anybody for public input at this point of the meeting?
No, ma'am. At this point, there are no members of the public on the line.
Okay, thank you. Item 6, and any more COVID-19 update, Mr. Wallen?
I do not have anything new to add, but I see that even though the CDC, I think sometime this morning, or sometimes said that, you know, if you are vaccinated, you do not have to wear a mask in most cases. However, OSHA and the governor, I think, have basically dictated to us that there will be a mask requirement on. For how long, I do not know. I'm anticipating that will go on for a while longer. So that is really all that I have to add. The positivity rate is low and in the valley, fairly stable. So, you know, that's good news. But the good news is that the vaccine really does work. And there are all kinds of good reports about how effective this vaccine is. So with that, I have nothing more to add. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next item, number 7, Human Resources Report. We went through this on Thursday.
Well, yes, you know, I'll go down through. I might say that we have Robert with a 15-year pin and Ann with a 5-year pin. Those pins were given to those two at the employee appreciation event in April. So those are done. You know, I can briefly say some things. I don't know if like April wants to say something. I've known Nancy, of course. She's been here almost twice as many years as I've been here. So we do have one of the longest lasting or standing employees at the district. I think Brent was here 30
Yeah,
one or
Brett was
two.
here a year longer than me. Yeah, Brett was here before me.
Yeah. At any rate, Nancy is such a good employee and so much and so good to be with. I go up and constantly have conversations. She's a boxer and spends a lot of time at the gym and has been in the customer service department for a long time. And you've got to say thank you for dealing with all those customers. I wonder how many customers she's actually dealt with over her 29 years.
I don't know, but she was probably, I don't know, I think she might have been happy that the office was closed during COVID.
I bet. Well, there'll be some changes. She's seen a lot of changes. David Pena got here about the same time that I did. And always fun. He has a good personality for being a field service representative. He is, we constantly share stories and when he's not in the field, and has been such a good employee and he's really has a great personality and he's a great fit for that field representative. So with that said, you've got, oh, wait a minute, maybe I should come back and ask April or Matt, did you want to say anything about Nancy or David?
I would love to. Both of them have been an asset to the district for many years. Nancy is reliable, consistent, knowledgeable, great to have around. So we're very grateful for her. She works very hard. And David, we get a lot of compliments with David, his professionalism. He lives the values of Mission Springs Water District, and he is happy to serve our customers, and he does it with a fantastic attitude and knowledge. So thank you to both of them. And about Anne, if I could just jump in also, she again, very reliable, consistent, and so helpful to the customers. We have people that thank us all the time for the assistance that she offers them. So very happy to have them on the team.
It just seems like it was yesterday that Anne came to us and I can't believe it's 5 years. So she's also very good, very well suited for this kind of work, and she does it very well. So thanks, April. And then we have Robert Lopez, and I did write a bunch of notes for them. And I always start out by saying, even though he's a Cowboys fan, a great person all around, great father, is again perfectly suited for this type of work. I think he acts like he really enjoys it. And to that end, I want to say thanks for the 15 years of service that Robert's given us. And I got to hire him. So this is one of those that I really feel good about being able to compliment him for all the good work that he's done over the last 15 years. I don't know if Matt wants to say anything about Robert or not.
Thank you, Arden. We'd just like to echo what Arden said, that Robert is a great employee and a great person. He's always willing to help both within his department and be flexible enough to help with outside of his department as well. So again, thank you, Robert, for your service. We appreciate you, and thank you.
Thanks, Matt. We already talked about Ann, and then Jason. I think Bassam might want to make a comment here. I don't know Jason real well, but this is his first year, and we're happy to have him. And I do hear good reports. Bassam or Danny, did you want to add anything to that? Evidently not. I don't. Is Danny and Bassam on? Do you know?
Danny is. I see he's on, but I don't know if he's at his desk.
Good afternoon, Arden. I just took my mute off. I do realize that Bassam's dealing with this odor issue that we're having here at the office, but I didn't plan to say anything about Jason, but I can certainly impromptu do so. I have spoken with Jason several times since he's been here for the past year, and I know he's well liked. I know he's a good asset to the team. He is from Yucca Valley, so oftentimes I see him outside of work. And in general, great guy, good addition to the district. Happy to have him. I know he's a big help, like I said earlier, to the department. So I'll make sure that everybody knows he was talked about today. Thank you.
Thanks, Danny.
Thank you, Danny.
And
Thank you.
then we have 2 certifications, which we always are proud. We get a grade 2 for both Alex 9 and Julio Martinez, and both great employees, and my compliments and congratulations. And Danny, did you want to say anything while you're on the screen?
I like to say how to use the mute feature here. Sorry about that, guys. I do know about Alex 9 and Julio that was talked about before. There's a lot of challenges with COVID. As many may know, the state has canceled all of the in-person testing, has pushed it off. A lot of these people were ready to test. A lot of our staff members were ready to test, were prepared, and they had essentially the rug pulled up from underneath them, waiting to see what the state would do to provide testing options. And there has Alex and Julio, like a couple of our other staff members, were fortunate on the new program where it's done electronically. They do get a little heads up that they pass and get a formal response that they pass. So both of these folks, both these staff members getting their grade 2, it's a big accomplishment. It's not required essentially for their jobs, but they were stepping up to make themselves more valuable for other opportunities here at the district. So congratulations to them.
Yes, thank you. Congratulations to everybody on this list. Okay, so we will go on now. Item number 8, professional engineering services contract for the engineering Inc. It is recommended to authorize the general manager to execute an agreement with TKE Engineering Inc. on an as needed basis for a period of 1 year, not to exceed the amount of $250,000.
I would move the item as it's written.
Okay.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. Anybody have any questions? Okay, roll call vote, please.
Director Sewell,
Yes.
Director Grusha,
Aye.
Director Duncan,
Yes.
Vice President Martin,
Yes.
President Wright.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you. Number 9, professional engineering service contract for Heliotech Consulting. It is recommended to authorize the general manager to execute an agreement with Heliotech Consulting on an as-needed basis for a period of 1 year, not to exceed $150,000.
Okay,
Do you have anything else to say, or does anybody want to make a motion?
nothing more to say, President Wright.
Okay.
I'll move the item.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor.
Second.
I have a second. Roll call vote, please.
Director Sewell,
Yes.
Director Grusha,
Yes.
Director Duncan,
Yes.
Vice President Martin,
Yes.
President Wright.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you. Item number 10, resolution 2021-06, recommending approval of Skyborne Development partial agreement with assumption agreement. It is recommended that the Board of Directors adopt a resolution number 2021-06, recommending approval of a partial assignment and assumption of public water systems improvement and water service connection fee credit reimbursement agreement, authorizing Skyborne Ventures LLC to assign water connections fee credits to Lennar Homes of California LLC as required by the Second Amendment to the Public Water Systems Improvement and Water Service Connection Fee Credit reimbursement amendment for track number 32030 and complete with all exhibits. That's the motion.
Yes.
You glad I read it? No.
Yes, thank you. This is, in a way, boy, it's been a long time since we've With the 29 credits you previously approved and then the 79, and the reason those are odd numbers is that those are the numbers that were agreed to in the contract. That gives us 108 new homes that are going into this community in a very nice development. And so it's kind of exciting, but there are some provisions that will need to be met before they can add anything more. So that's all I have to say.
Okay, anybody have a question? Any board members? Okay, seeing none, I will entertain a motion to recommend the Board of Directors adopt resolution number 2021-06.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Director Sewell,
Yes.
Director Grasha,
Yes.
Director Duncan,
Yes.
Vice President Martin,
Yes.
President Wright.
Aye.
Thank you. We have quorum. I'm sorry. Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you. Item number 11, First Amendment to Contract Agreement with B81 Paving, Inc. for pavement repairs for water and sewer projects. It's recommended to authorize the general manager to amend the contract with B81 Paving, Inc. for the pavement repair for water and sewer projects in the amount of $115,000 and authorize the general manager to do all things necessary to complete the project.
Again, this is just an amendment to increase the contract amount to 115,000, was previously 100. And we go through a competitive process to provide these services, which was done and approved by you. And that, I think, is all I need to add. Thank you.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve staff's recommendation on item number 11.
I'll move item 11.
Second.
I think Russ beat you, Steve, but anybody have any questions? If not, roll call vote, please.
Director Sewell,
Yes.
Director Grasha,
Yes.
Director Duncan,
Yes.
Vice President Martin,
Yes.
President Wright.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Okay, now number 12, this is the same number 12 that I pulled off the study session agenda. Well, it wasn't ready. Well, it's ready now. So it's on today's agenda, item number 12, to award a contract for professional services and software as a service provisions for Water Smart Software, Inc. for the integration, God, I can't say that today, and maintenance of a customer portal software.
Okay.
Integration.
Thank you. We'll have a presentation today for you. This is kind of exciting. It isn't, this is something that our customers are gonna love. It's a technology that's out there. We're out in front of it. The customers will have access to their account, to their control, and in their control of notifications. This will provide them with information, and it should help us avoid these costly bills and prevent these high bills that we see now and then because customers simply don't know when their usage is spiking. Today, Matt has a presentation for you. And what happened was there is a correction. Matt will speak to that. This is a 12-month contract, not a 60-month contract, which is what the issue was last Thursday. So with that said, Matt, do you want to take it from there?
Sure, thank you, Art. Good afternoon, Madam President, members of the board. This contract is, as was mentioned, a software as a service contract for our customer portal, which is the kind of the final link of the AMI system to get all of that data that we're now collecting from the registers to the customer. So I'd like to show a brief video here that'll give you a better idea of what the product is and what it does, rather than me just speaking. But as Arden mentioned, this is a 12-month contract with 4 annual renewal periods in it. The typo that was mentioned is on page 114 of your packet. The term of the contract starts out as 12 months, 60 months. The 60 months should be crossed out. That just didn't make it through the edits in the Word document. So that should just read 12 months from in the term of the contract on page 114. And with that, I will share my screen and let you watch this video that shows you the product. Bear with me for a second, please.
Okay.
As a water utility, you have three main goals: delivering safe, reliable drinking water, maintaining and investing in your infrastructure and sewer services, and generating sufficient revenues to allow you to fulfill your public mission. To successfully accomplish these goals, you'll need to align your utility around your end customer's needs. The WaterSmart Customer Engagement, Self-Service and Data Analytics Platform helps water utilities manage their customer relationships and automate processes to reduce service costs, improve operational efficiency, and increase customer satisfaction. Implementing our SaaS platform will jumpstart your utility's digital transformation. Let's look at how WaterSmart gives your customers the modern experience that they expect from a service provider. WaterSmart meets customers' expectations to be able to pay their bills, get personalized information and tips about their water use, and manage their account and communication settings, all from a single web and mobile interface. A customer logging into their WaterSmart self-service portal can see and pay their bills, enroll in paperless billing, receive a leak alert and step-by-step guide on finding and fixing leaks, receive a proactive bill notification to avoid a high bill surprise, view personalized explanations for a bill, submit and check the status of service requests, rebate applications, and other forms, see how much water they are using and compare their use to their peers, and view timely notifications and announcements from their utility. WaterSmart's self-service portal is the one-stop shop for customers to interact with your utility digitally. By enabling customers to self-serve on common questions and issues, they are less likely to call the utility, saving your staff time and hassle. The portal, however, is only part of the story. When customers do call, you want to rapidly resolve issues and avoid escalations and maintain or exceed benchmark customer satisfaction levels. WaterSmart's utility dashboard can help your team to improve first call resolution with a 360-degree view of the customer, their usage, and their bills. Let's say a customer calls in with a bill complaint. A representative pulls up the customer details page in the dashboard. There, they can see the customer's bill history, usage history, and the customer activity feed. They also have access to the customer's bill explainer content, which serves as a script that allows the representative to quickly help the customer understand the primary elements of their bill. Utility staff can also use the WaterSmart dashboard to effortlessly send timely, targeted outbound communications to customers with the Group Messenger module. Let's say you want to warn customers in a certain area about a planned service outage. Just open up Group Messenger and select a pre-written message template or draft your own. Replacement variables personalize your message, which improve open and click-through rates. Selecting the right audience for the message is easy with our built-in list builder. Our Polygon selector tool allows you to quickly select recipients on a map. After a quick test, your message is ready to send. You can send it by any communication channel you feel is appropriate: email, text, or automated voice. Sending messages to targeted groups of customers used to take hours and involve mail merges and other hassles. Now it can be done in minutes. The dashboard index reveals over 50 pre-built reports on consumption, leaks, water budgets, billing, mailings, and portal activity for utility staff to access data insights with ease. The leaks module, in particular, provides utility staff a holistic view of customer side leaks, alerts, responses, and analytics on estimated water loss due to leaks. Leak detection and alerting is available for both AMI and non-AMI. All leak parameters and communication preferences are configurable by meter class to meet the unique needs of each utility. The consumption module in the utility analytics dashboard gives you a clear view of how much water is being used across the utility and allows you to easily measure progress toward meeting improved efficiency goals. You can filter by meter class, see the distribution of usage by accounts, and download your data for further analysis. Reporting on water consumption by meter class and household characteristics is often painful for utilities since data may be incomplete or reside in multiple systems. WaterSmart makes it easy by pulling all your data together and augmenting your information with external data sources for truly effortless analysis and reporting. WaterSmart manages data for millions of endpoints in AMI, AMR, manual read, and mixed environments. We have successfully exchanged data with dozens of customer information systems and billing vendors, as well as the biggest meter vendors in the industry, including Badger, Neptune, Census, Aclara, Master Meter, Mueller, and more. Our AMI database is built on the Cassandra framework, offering unlimited volumes of distributed, redundant, and secure data storage. Our system is easy to deploy, extensible, fully encrypted at rest for maximum security, and requires minimum IT staff burden to get up and running. You've now seen WaterSmart in action. We can help you manage your customer engagement needs with a modern self-service system that delights your customers, reduces your cost to serve, and improves your overall operational efficiency so you can focus on the fundamentals of running your water utility. If you'd like to receive a more personalized tour of our platform, we encourage you to complete the form below.
So that gives you an idea of what the product is. A couple of other quick items. We're looking at about a 90-day implementation timeline for it to become a live service to customers. We're hoping this will basically essentially function as a virtual lobby, and we will be able to serve our customers much better via phone and internet, and use it to communicate and relay data and kind of all of the above. This is also included in a capital budget that you have already approved. Again, this is just the approval of the contract. So thank you, and I can answer any questions you may have.
Yeah, I have one. First, I'll go
Yeah,
first. I'll let you go. In the portal, let's say somebody has 2 or 3 accounts that they're keeping an eye on and paying, or they have 2 or 3 houses they're looking. Can the portal carry more than 1 account?
Yes, they'll be able to access all of their accounts.
Okay. Okay.
I have
Randy.
some questions. Yeah. Oh, so it looks like we're not hosting this. If we're logging into their network, so we're not going to get overrun with, or our system isn't going to get fried. Are we going to have to expand our system?
No, this is
who's I guess host is not the right word, but whose platform are we actually logging into? Ours or theirs?
no, actually, hosting is the correct word, and it will be hosted by WaterSmart. That's what they were referring to at the end of the presentation about redundant backup with the Cassandra system. So it is definitely web-based, and we're not adding hardware or any infrastructure to accommodate this.
Yeah, that's where I wanted to go. So, okay, so we don't have to update our systems or anything like that as far as a complete overhaul.
Correct.
Okay.
It's an app, right? It's an app, Matt? Is it an app you download?
Yes.
Can our customers go on and look at their hourly, daily, current use? Is this the one we've been talking about for a couple of years?
Yes, it is. There'll be both a web-based login portal that they can access, as well as a more mobile app that they can download and access all of their consumption data, billing data, all of the above.
Okay, well, this is perfect timing because the presentation Steve Ledbetter gave us last week was if we need to cut 10% or if we need to cut 20% or whatever, we can just get that information out to our clients and they can see whether they're on track for their own property or not.
It'll
So,
help. Sure.
yeah, so that's perfect. All right, good, thank you. That's all I've got.
So is this $180,000 price for 1 year?
No, that's the 5-year price. It's in the range of 30 to 35 per year.
Okay, and what's our, how much will we pay them this year? They're, to get on board, say?
The first year, sorry, I'm trying to get to the right page of the contract, but there is an exhibit to the contract that shows the annual amounts.
I just wanted to make sure that it's a 5-year contract for 180,000, not $180,000 a year. Is that right?
Correct.
Our total price is 180,000.
Correct.
On page 113, it shows year one for 40,500.
And
Yes, actually on page 129, it shows all 5 years.
So
But-
that when the how many of our customers, if you know this, would be help. I'm trying to figure out what the participation rate might be. How many of our ratepayers pay by credit card now? Do you know?
Off
Compared
the top of my head, I want to say it's in the 20 to 25% range.
Okay. And that would include debit cards, I guess. I'm thinking those would be the people that would certainly log into this system, and
Most
certainly
likely.
others too, but that's a base number I would use. So about 25%. Okay, so I while you're giving your report, all I could think about was, wow, that's $18 per ratepayer, and I can't imagine them all using it. But when you spread that number out over 5 years, it brings it down to what, about $3 or $4 per meter, I guess. Is that about right?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And I could chase my neighbors to the streets for $4 for this. I think I could justify that. That's kind of how I think about it. So, okay, good. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I think it's gonna be very helpful during this water shortage drought that's coming up, because Sacramento's talking some real draconian things to help. They really feel that we're gonna have a super water shortage if this drought continues like it has. And people are really gonna have to pay attention to what they use. So I think this will be a very valuable tool for that. So thank you, Matt. Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah. So the video, well, I had thought this was mostly the customer side of things, but that video showed quite a bit for, billing and messaging and things like that. I know working with April before, we already have software in place that keeps track of like bill history and usage history. Will we be transitioning all of that data to this new system, or will we have both kind of hand in hand?
We will. That'll be part of the implementation. So basically, the customers will be able to access everything they're able to now. But in addition to that, we'll get the AMI consumption data on a daily basis rather than on a monthly basis. And we'll also get the ability to communicate directly with the customer through this software application. Those are some of the larger benefits of implementing this.
Great, thank you.
Director Sewell, maybe I misunderstood your question. What I thought you were saying is, are we going to reduce what we're doing now to inform the customers, but we're going to continue to do the public outreach and everything that we're doing now, along with
Just to be added to it. Yep.
Yes, and actually, because implementation is where you get the value. Obviously, if you don't get customers to sign up, the value of this software is not there. So we have been working on and plan on implementing a communications program to let the customers know that this is coming and how to sign up for it and so on and so forth, to try to get that implementation figure as high as we can.
I think the fact that they'll be alerted in plenty of time before their water bill goes sky high on leaks, I think that would be very valuable to some people, so, and to the district. Okay, any other questions of Matt?
Well, I wondered if you might be a little more specific on what you think you might do to promote this to our ratepayers. Will it be something that will be an insert in every bill that goes out? Or will it be something that will just be on Facebook? Have you thought about that?
Yeah, we've talked about it. Maybe Victoria and or April would want to cover some detail more than I can, but I believe the answer to your question is basically all the above.
I
There
would,
will be inserts and social media contact.
I would think it would be something that would be in that newsletter you do. I mean, that's a big step for this district, I think. And it's something I think people won't be upset that they're being charged for, even if they're not using it. That would be my biggest worry. Thanks. Thank you. Good job, Eric.
I even think that video you just played to us would be great to play to the customers.
That's a good idea. Okay,
Okay, then with that, and I will entertain a motion to approve the award for contract for the professional services and software as a service provision with WaterSmart Software, Inc. for the integration and maintenance of a customer portal software.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Director Sewell,
Yes.
Director Grasha,
Yes.
Director Duncan,
Yes.
Vice President Martin,
Yes.
President Wright.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you. Okay, number 13, do we have anything else on the Mission Springs Water District Regional Water Reclamation Facility update? I see we have Steve here.
nothing new other than Brian. I don't know, is Steve on?
Steve
thought-
here, Steve and Brian.
Steve, did you have anything more that you wanted to add to that?
No,
Regional?
just one quick thing. Thank you, President Wright and members of the board. We received most of the bid documents for the treatment plant over the weekend. I'm waiting on 2 more items, and I'm happy to report it's going to get posted. Looks like tomorrow will be the actual date of posting. So we're pretty happy about that to finally be at this point. We've been pushing pretty hard the last 3 months to get everything wrapped up to go out to bid. And like I said, we've been pushing the consultant pretty hard. They were working over the weekend to get us most of the rest of the documents. And I've been promised the last 2 by tonight. So we'll be posting that tomorrow. So I'm happy to report that. That's all.
Yeah, good news, thanks.
And then Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, but even we seem to be moving along okay. We have no signs of any problems with our funding. So that's good.
That is correct.
And so all good news. So let's just keep our fingers crossed that it all works out. So, and that's it for the regional plan. I don't think there's anything more that we need to talk about with the urban water management plan. Steve?
That was my next question. Okay. And what about number 15? Have anything more on that? The building.
No,
update.
other than we'll be getting that back to you as soon as we can, and then we can start making some decisions, and you can discuss and bring forth some of the ideas. Okay.
Sounds good. If you guys have any questions on any of these, just.
Well, I had some thoughts on this over the week. You know, the idea that we're going to build on that slope and slope the park. I keep thinking about the pipe we carry around in the back of those pickup trucks rolling over somebody's foot, and trucks getting stuck in the driveway trying to get up that hill that you're going to have to make them drive up every morning and every night. And it just boggles my mind, all the things that are going to be a problem building on the side of a hill. That you're going to have to build the hill too. I don't know. I think you guys should give us some real thought to that, and hope that better ideas prevail as we move forward with this. Thank you.
Okay, item number 16, strategic communications plan yearly update.
Nothing new. That would just an update.
Presentation. Okay, so any.
Oh, unless Victoria has something she wanted to add. I mean.
No, nothing additional in the strategic communications plan.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, then we'll go on to the consent agenda. Is there anybody on the phone for consent agenda?
No, ma'am,
Comments
still no members of the public present.
at all? Okay, good. Well, not good, but okay, for this, this vote. Okay, so I will entertain a motion to, oh, will any of the board members like to pull 17 or 18 off of the consent agenda?
I had one more question about what we talked about last week on the new, that $7,500 that we talked about is for every month, I suppose, not every year.
No, for the California Groundwater Coalition. No, that's just once a year.
Oh, okay. So that might be a good deal. All right. I'm looking forward to hearing from them as we go forward. Thank you.
Okay,
And
so
I've got all the stuff together, but I just got back. I'll try to get something out to you tomorrow on it. Okay.
Thank you.
okay, so I entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So
So
moved.
moved.
I have two firsts, and how about a
I'll
second?
second it.
Okay. I had 2 seconds then. Dory, pick.
Take your pick. Take your pick.
Director Duncan first, Vice President Martin second.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yes?
Yeah, okay. Roll call vote, please.
Director Sewell,
Yes.
Director Gracia,
Yes.
Director Duncan,
Yes.
Vice President Martin,
Yes.
and President Wright.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Director's reports and upcoming events. Director Martin, you doing yours today?
Yep. April is a busy month. I'll just go in order the way they appear on the agenda. April 8th, CVAG Conservation Commission meeting. I sat in for Supervisor Hewitt. There's an overview of CV Link. I'll discuss the groundbreaking ceremony, and then at a mission, MSHCP plan report. On April 14th, Tribal Water Authority, presentation by our water board's president, Art Bunce, on Sigma, focusing on tribal water rights as it pertains to GSAs. On April 15th, Desert Valley Builders Association Public Officials Luncheon. Nothing to add to Director Sewell's comments from Thursday. April 17th, Women's Club Barbecue, well-attended event, nothing to report beyond that. April 28th, Tribal Water Authority meeting, nothing to report there. April 1st, DVBA Legislative Forum, nothing to add to Victoria's comments. Victoria, as usual, did a great job in reporting the district's, water district's issues. April 6th, Desert Hot Springs City Council meeting, special recognition of City Councilman Robert Griffith for his service to the council. He was presented with the key to the city. Also plans for Reflection Park, which I believe is a small park on the corner of the Miracle Springs, or excuse me, the Spa Hotel property. I don't know what they're planning on doing to it, but it's a cost of $46,000 plus a $14,000 contingency. On April 8th, DVBA board meeting, budget was approved. Real estate for the Coachella Valley has very low inventory, which is causing housing prices to go up. But despite the building inventory being low, building permits are record breaking. Unfortunately, those completed projects are a year to 2 years out. So if you're planning on selling your property, now's the time to do it, as opposed to when these new building, new permits are filled. April 13th, Riverside County Board of Supervisors meeting. They have the COVID report, which they do that at each meeting. There was a budget adjustment for a behavioral health services unit made up of both the DA's office and Sheriff's Department. Conditional use permit was approved for a $25,000 foot cannabis facility in county territory. April 20th, City Council meeting. General Manager Wallum and I attended. The highlight was the recognition of Chuck Maynard, his service as city manager, who led the city from a position of severe fiscal stress to financial stability. with a comfortable reserve and a bond rating of A+. Also an appeal, there was an appeal of the Planning Commission who approved the Marbella condo project for 402 condo units, which are located next to Skies Haven, which will be right off of, Palm Drive. People were very concerned about traffic congestion in that area, but the city council went ahead and approved the Planning Commission's approval. April 22nd, Desert Valley Builders Association open house. They moved into a new facility over there behind Costco. April 27th, Riverside County Board of Supervisors, COVID-19 update again. They highlighted plans for children to return to school. They had 25 public speakers. It was a long meeting. They amended the ordinance concerning illegal fireworks with increased fines in county territory. Then of interest, April 30th, the Palm Springs Air Museum 25th anniversary celebration took place over 3 days, which was done to spread the large crowd normally associated with that into 3 smaller ones. Despite that, it was still a very well attended event. Of note was a video on a large screen paying tribute to those who have supported the museum over the years. Mission Springs Water District was prominently honored. The video was shown all 3 nights of the event and was on a continual loop for the entire course of the evening. We were also mentioned in the Desert Sun coverage of the event. And that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you. Randy, do you want to do yours?
The Cordillera Valley Conservation Commission and the Energy and Environmental met on Thursday, April 8th. This, I don't know how it's going to work. They are recommending that they are supporting removing a bunch of tamarisk trees that are right next to monitoring wells. I didn't get exactly where these things are located, but this is in support of the multi-species habitat plan. I don't know how that's going to conflict with our agreement with the Sierra Club, because they're monitoring trees to see their consumption. And now they're talking about pulling the trees out because they consume too much water. It's really a very confusing mess. But of course that was approved. The Energy and Environmental meeting that afternoon, there was a public comment. A gentleman came in, one comment. Item 6C on the agenda was input in goals and objectives for FY 21-22 relating to the Salton Sea. Somebody recommended that they send a letter to the state and all the water agencies, any authorities supporting the pipeline from the ocean, both San Diego and the Gulf of Mexico, to import salt water. And I was very tactful and I said, you know, I've been on a water board for 15 years. I don't know how much that would cost. I couldn't tell you what the dynamics of that was and what the infrastructure would cost and the hurdles and all that. And I believe it was the general manager for the Salton Sea Authority said that there was a district in San Diego who's been trying to get a permit for more than 10 years to pull water out of the ocean and do the desal for San Diego. And they can't even get a permit for that. So trying to bring water up and over the mountain, I said it's really not the expertise of CVAG to support or oppose something like that. I would just not get involved in it. You know, they don't have that expertise. Of course, they voted to approve it because that's what staff recommended. So all they're doing is sending a letter of support, but I think it was a little bit out of their bounds, my personal opinion. CVWD board meeting, April 13th. EVBA is doing a report. They do this every 2 or 3 years. They are comparing fees throughout the Coachella Valley. A lot of cities, districts have raised their rates over the last couple of years. They're doing a survey. That study should be out sometime this month. The numbers, I'm sure, have changed. This was from April 13th. CVWD did a survey of their staff. 23% had been vaccinated for the COVID. 24% said they will not be vaccinated. The other 53% didn't reply. So all they got was 47%, and it was split pretty much 50-50. They don't know what they're going to do with the numbers. It really doesn't go anywhere, but that's the survey they got. Yeah, I'll skip my comment that I had for Desert Water Agency. March water use reduction figure, they are down 11% compared to March 2013. And that was actually the same for a 12-month average. CVWD, April 27th. Canal, they are doing canal rate increases. They're doing hearings on that. They mailed out all the required forms. And that is it for that. And that is all I have.
Okay, thank you. It looks like I'm the only other one. I have the CV business conference, which the economist was Dr. Christopher Thomberg. And what he talked about was quality jobs, economic opportunities, and support of small businesses. Supervisor Perez, I'll start with him. He was also one of the speakers, and he talked about Riverside County's Economic Task Force, which is a program that Riverside County has had for quite some time to help small business grants get out to the small businesses. It had helped 3,122 employees and jobs overall. They've changed that now and made it a permanent program, I guess, called the Office of Economic Development. So back to Dr. Thomberg about the economy of the Coachella Valley. This COVID recession, I guess you might call it, it's not a business type recession, which moves really slowly. It was instant. And since we were in such good economic times, what happened was not much at all. Too much too soon is what happened with the COVID. Too much too soon. The pandemic business cycle is the deepest recession, but shortest recession. It's a very deep recession, but it's a very short recession. Unlike the business recessions, which come on slowly and usually last a lot longer. There are winners and losers in a COVID situation. The Coachella Valley did better than San Diego over the whole COVID thing, and Orange County, but not as good as the High Sierra areas because COVID was not as prevalent up in the Northern California, and some of the Northern California areas than it was down here. Job numbers are the most negative aspect, but are not that important, but they're talked about the most. The labor force is the main issue. He was talking about how the skills had, where they were mismatched skills now, that people were finding jobs that was outside of their expertise. And so then when their jobs are back open again, a lot of them have already found another job. and he said, this time giving people more money never helped stimulate the economy. The money was either saved or donated. He also said, book your flight now because by the end of the year, flights he predicts are going to go up. The cost of flights are going to go up. Monetary experience, we cannot predict when an inflation will actually hit. And that's what he was talking about. The money for the stimulus money maybe didn't come out as the recession was hitting. The $3 trillion infrastructure plan has the potential to send us into inflation. The one problem with the Coachella Valley and the economic development part is lack of housing. Very, very big lack of housing. And the people are having to move away to find a place to live. Online buying is probably now, not for houses, but for just about everything else. And it could be houses too. Online buying is, in the long run, will become the new normal. And so that leaves us with a big problem of a bunch of open space buildings that companies are moving out of because they're probably going virtual or whatever. So now we have to repurpose the properties. So that's going to take time and some money. Working from home will not become a new norm because now we know what the negatives are. And one of them is also keeping the cyber guy that talked at the Aqua conference. That's one of the issues for the cyber thing was that carrying and taking our files and putting them into like your iPad and taking it home or something like that. That's a real risky thing to do. You do have protections, but they're not usually foolproof. So to help housing, one of the main things the city or county or land use agency can do is zoning changes, streamline the penalties and the fees for the construction. And one thing he said was kind of interesting. He said, if the government picks up the water and sewer costs for new development, that would really be helpful. So I don't know, keep fingers crossed, that might happen too. He did talk about the Salton Sea. He said the decline of the Salton Sea is a barrier to the area, an economic problem. He talked about the lithium, which could be a good opportunity. It's called white gold. It could actually, if it works out, it could actually help pay for the cleaning up of the sea. And the big issue that we waited too long to do anything, and the state waited too long to do anything. The bureaucratic stall cannot continue. We are frozen in time, just like we are with the immigration. Those are his comments. Supply, and it's the housing problem to keep things sustainable. The tax rates, said there are different kinds of tax. The capital gain tax most people don't like, but there are different kinds of taxes. They're what he called good taxes, which are small taxes or broad-based taxes, and versus the bad tax, which are the big taxes. That's what he said. Okay, that was it for that. I'm going to do the JPIA and the Aqua conference that I participated or attended or whatever you want to call it online, because the information that I got there, if I wait till next month, it'll be old news and it won't even be worth anything. So that's how fast things are moving. So the JPIA board meeting, we had, there was new members joined JPIA for the insurance, Lake Arrowhead Community Service District, San Mateo County Flood and Sea Level Resiliency District, and this one was cool, Southwest Kings Groundwater Sustainability Agency. So we have a few agencies now that are getting their insurance for their GSA because it's a thing that they're performing that's not the same as what their normal insurance is for. So then there was voting. Let's see. JPIA right now is working on the July renewals. I had it somewhere. Most things are workman's comp. I can remember workman's comp is probably going to stay the same. Of course, liability because of the fires, that would probably go up. And he did diagram about all the natural disasters per se that happened in pretty much in a row throughout the years, starting with this was a natural disaster, but insurance type disasters. That was 9/11 started it, and we haven't really recouped from that as far as insurances go. Just when they starting to pull themselves out, another catastrophe happens, and that's what's been going on. And he also mentioned JPI mentioned something about a cyber attack form that he warned everybody to make sure their district had filed that form, so we are covered in case of any cyber attacks. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but you might. I don't. We had a vote. What we voted on at JPIA was the 4 people that we had in our agenda last month: Tom Crooked, Dave Drake, Melody McDonald, and Randall Reeve. Of course, there was 4 seats and 4 people, so they all made it in. The other thing we voted on was to ratify those new agencies, change the bylaws, which was anything drastic. It was just some stuff just to clean it up a little bit. Financial statements is September 30th, 2020, and the budget for 21-22. We voted on all of those. That was that. That was JPIA. Okay, the conference started on May 12th. No, excuse me. Yes, started on May 12th. That's right. May 13th, May 12th, started on May 12th. And what happened? They had a big old technical failure. Nobody could, not everybody could get on. It was just, went on and on the whole morning. Everybody trying to get on. Finally, they just said, okay, you guys, we're going to call it quits today. And everything that was presented today will be presented on Friday. So that was Wednesday. So now I will do Thursday, May 13th first. The keynote speaker was Carla Nemeth, who is the director of the Department of Water Resources. She talked about the Delta conveyance, Sigma implementations, and water shortage investment programs for water use efficiency. This year will be the most extensive budget California's ever had for the long-term drought resiliency. In that, there is also $300 million for Sigma implementation. This 2020 was the hottest year on record. Death Valley was 130 degrees at a certain point in time. Okay, about Sigma. Sigma is to make sure groundwater is managed by the locals, she said. Locals usually have more trust with the locals, and trust and Sigma are one of the most important aspects of Sigma to make it successful. $26 million. They also had in there for a groundwater protection for disadvantaged communities. The conveyance and water use efficiency, remember the 2 tunnels, and then it went to 1 tunnel to bring the water down south? Well, now they're looking at 6,000 cubic feet of water transfer. The draft and environmental review is in process. I haven't heard that one yet, but that's basically all they said. The conservation is a new way of life. The new approach is legislation and a long view approach to deal with that. Cindy Tuck, let me see, and make sure I finished what Carla said. The takeaway from what Carla said is Sigma and trust are important for the work, especially during a drought. And speaking of that, another thing that was talked about was the groundwater sustainability plans and what a lot of agencies are having issues doing in order to get the information into their plan is the private well owners. When you try to go on somebody's property or knock on their door and say, hey, I want to know about your well. What level is it and what's the quality? They're going to slam the door in your face. And they do. And so that's been a big issue about how do agencies get in touch with their private well owners, which we have a lot of the hoteliers do. And so they might help get the hoteliers to buy into that. Anyway, that's a subject for another time. So Cindy Tuck, who is the Aqua's legislative for Sacramento, She said that Aqua is working with California Special Districts Association and CASA, which is California Sanitation Agencies, working on the state for a one-time needed money. Like past due water bills, you only need the money one time and it's done. So they're working on those kind of things together. Cindy also said is that if you want to keep in the loop for this COVID help, that they have a group that's working on it, all you have to do is send her an email, Cindy Tuck from Aqua, and in the RE section of the email, just put COVID help, and she'll put you on the list, and then you will be notified when this group meets and what's talked about. Oh, she's working on, Aqua is working on SB 223. There's something about debt forgiveness, but Aqua says it needs changes in order for them to like it. Another one was he was an attorney. His name's Andrew B. Gagin. He's from, where was he from? Kingman Gadman LLP. And what he talked about was how to put fixed charges and delinquent charges on the tax roll. I know we have delinquent charges. We don't have our fixed charges, which are the charges that are on our water bill, the fixed charges. He went all through it, how to do it and everything. But he did say, he did give Article 4 is one of the virtual handouts that's on the that's online there. And that let's see, wait a minute. Read my stuff here. Okay, Article 4 of the Health and Safety Code is where this information is. But it all, and he started out with SB 998, which no section of that Article 4 Health and Safety Code overrides SB 998. In case you were wondering. May 14th, which is now Friday, which should have been Wednesday. So I spent my whole week on this. Dave Egger, our executive director of Aqua, he talked about local water management needs all those to be successful, and trust, collaboration, need to be respectful and helpful. The agencies need to be collaborative, respectful, helpful, and trusting each other in order to make this thing work. There's a water availability bill for disadvantaged communities. It has problems. It does not work. Aqua is trying to tell the reality of what is needed on the ground for that legislation. Andy Sells tells everybody he's looking forward to seeing everybody in the fall, in person. Then they gave out the awards. And what was it? I thought I had a lot more, you guys. I think I lost half my notes. I don't think any of you guys will mind. That was most of what happened. I just want to get it done next month. It would have even been worse probably to listen to that, because it wouldn't have made any difference because it's all happening now. Anyway, it was actually a very good conference. I was probably pretty pleased at the breakout sessions. I actually enjoyed it, but there was an awful lot of stuff that they talked about, and so trying to put it all together in a report is pretty difficult. So hope you got something out of it.
Was that
Okay.
conference online, or did you go somewhere for that?
Well, no, that was the Aqua conference was online. It has been throughout all of COVID.
I know. I thought maybe you might have slipped one in. That seemed like a lot of stuff to sit through, because I know the ones that I've attended that seem like they go on for hours and days before you find something worth reporting on. So thank you for that.
Mm-hmm. And that wasn't even all of it. Like I have more notes. I tried to condense them. Anyway, thank you.
Well,
Okay.
really positive thing for me is now I don't have to report on the JPIA board meeting next month because you've covered it quite well. So I don't have to do that.
Oh, they had a JPIA, Nandy Sales did one at the Aqua Conference on Wednesday, I guess it was. Anyway, so, but I didn't bore you guys with that one. So, okay, so if there's no other upcoming reports, we'll go to the general manager's report, and I'll turn it over to you, Arden.
I had a report. I have a comment. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right. Did you want me? Okay, what I don't have anything additional, but I do have Victoria wants to share with you a couple items that you will like to hear. So with that, Victoria, do you want to
Yes.
do that?
Yes.
Okay.
This was a surprise. This was a surprise to me what she's going to do too, and I saw it at the end of the conference.
Yes, and I'm actually going to close out with that one. I figured I'd end with
Okay.
I have good news and better news, or just news in general. So we are part of the Riverside County Water Task Force. Mission Springs Water District has been working with some of the other Riverside County water agencies, especially related to the impact of the pandemic on our bills and what that means for us fiscally as an organization. And we have received word that the task force is putting together a letter signed by the participating agencies that would be a direct ask to the county. It's a $25 million ask, and they're asking for a direct payment to the agencies to help cover the delinquent fees that were submitted through the task force. And so the letter would be presented at this upcoming Tuesday's Board of Supervisors meeting. And so we just wanted to let you know, the board know, that the Mission Springs, if successful, we may receive out of that 25,625,000 approximately. And so this ask, as mentioned, goes to Riverside County as part of the county's allocation of their American Recovery Act monies that they received. And this 25 million only accounts for about 5% of what the county has received. And so I will keep the board abreast of the progress of that letter. So far, it's just a public comment. The agenda is not yet released, so we don't know if it's made in agenda, if it's been agendized or not. So that was the first thing that I wanted to touch on. And the next thing is, as part of the Aqua conference, the Aqua Communications Department reached out to us regarding a customer testimonial. And as we talked about last week with the strategic communications plan and those, regional partnerships, developing those relationships, we can tie that back also to the development of that relationship this past year. And so I wanted to share, it's a brief clip of that customer testimonial here. So please take a look at your screens. Hopefully no glitches this time. And everyone see that okay?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, lovely.
I just wanted to give a special thanks to Mission Springs Water District. As a customer, I just moved out here to Desert Hot Springs area, and you guys were extremely customer service friendly, kind, helpful during our transition for our move. And the water has been exceptional at my home. And on a professional note, as the regional manager for the State Council on Developmental Disabilities, I wanted to send a special thank you and shout out to Mission Springs Water District for providing water bottles to our underserved populations and people with developmental disabilities on the rollout on March 15th, 2021 for the vaccine clinics, and those essential water services were really helpful for folks as they waited to get their vaccine. And I can't thank Mission Springs Water District enough for doing that.
Definitely need to thank her.
Yes, so just wanted to share those two additional outreach items since last Thursday, and we will definitely give her a great thank you. That was an amazing testimonial also to our customer service team and the ease of transition for new residents when they move into the area.
Yeah, when I was watching the closing comments Friday, I all of a sudden it was the first one. They had many thank yous from various water districts, and Mission Springs was the very first one. And when it started, I was like, oh wow, that's really cool. I texted Victoria, did you know? Yeah, because I knew, but she didn't know what it was. So anyway, that was a good surprise.
Thank you, President Wright. I will pass along your appreciation as well, and the board's appreciation to Tamika.
It was really nice. Okay, so financial report. Oh, General Manager, are you done with your report?
Yes, we're done. I don't think we have anything additional to report, so.
Okay, what about you, Matt, with financial report?
No, nothing further to add.
If anybody has any questions, just let me know. District Council report.
Nothing this afternoon.
Good report. He's going to be doing nothing this afternoon. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, that means we're not having any closed sessions. So director's comments. I'll start with Vice President Martin.
No, I have nothing to add. Thank you.
Director Gasha.
I've got a mix of one comment mixed with what could have been a report, but so I chose to stay here because anyway, I've been attending the board meetings with Desert Water Agency, watching them online. If I'm not able to actually watch live, I've been getting copies of them. And, you know, with the lawsuit going on, there's, you know, leeriness to have a real open communication with those folks, and which I appreciate their reluctance, really. But at the same time, we have obligations to the public that we serve, each one of us, all five of us and all five of them. And so this is all good news. I'm not going anywhere that's going to get any, you shouldn't get worked up. But it occurs to me that, you know, in a couple of years, 18 months or 17, every meeting we have gets another month closer to what they must be looking at maybe as D-Day, but for us, it's really Freedom Day. The shoulders that we stand on here at the Mission Springs Water District are very broad. Our past boards, you could safely say, and it wouldn't even be much of an argument from anybody, that the Mission Springs Water District participated at the highest level in creating the Desert Water Agency back in 1962. There was in the very beginning of time, it was it was to be directors elected from divisions within the Desert Hot Springs area, along with Cathedral City. And their first, primary, and only at the time of its creation was to import water from the Delta project. And they got occupied with other things, which I'm not saying they shouldn't have, but they forgot their primary responsibility. And we need to be able to have at least a basic understanding that that is a fact. And so I got to thinking, you know, with the election coming up, it'll be 2 directors, and congratulations, Director Duncan. Up until 2-3 days ago, I thought you were in their Division 3. So congratulations on that. Anyway, my point here is that I got on the phone. I called, first I called our own registrar of voters to find out about the likelihood or the possibility of it being a problem with them of directors from Mission Springs serving on the DWA, or even at least running for the DWA's board. And her advice was to call the state attorney general's office for for them to take a position on that, so that they could issue papers potentially for 2 public offices at the same time. And so I did that. She gave me the number. I called the lawyer, and they wanted nothing to do with talking about it. They said, that's up to you guys. We don't want any part of it. You know, you need to go and get, you know, something locally. And so I had already talked to our own district attorney's office, thinking because I had seen in other cases where sometimes DA's offices stepped in cases in Los Angeles, they removed a director from one board because they found that it was incompatible. I didn't want to get into that possibility, so I tried to chase down every possible office that would have an interest in that, and they all said, unless you bring a case, it's not our, we don't want anything to do with it. The DA's office didn't even respond to the phone call. I left a message with the appropriate person. No return call.
Did you call the Steve? Did you call the FPPC?
I did not. And the reason I didn't was because they have already stated that they don't have a problem with it, because Desert Water doesn't oversee anything that we do here. Their opinion then, and that was just from during a phone conversation, they did not take a written position. But everyone I talked to said that you need to get your own legal counsel to issue an opinion. And so the registrar of voters said that if our counsel issues an opinion letter that says that possibility is okay with, in this case, it's John Pinckney. And to me, that's not enough. So I'm asking that our council, I'm asking this board to maybe let this marinate a little while. I'm sure you've been thinking about it for a long time. But in my case, it's like, oh, goodness gracious, because it's obvious I want to run for one of those seats. I've got questions for them just as though I've had for you guys for 18 months or whatever. And I'm sure you might enjoy that show. But so I'd like to have our attorney at least, if not issue an opinion, at least ponder the possibility of issuing opinion publicly, so everybody has the same information. Nobody's got any, and maybe coordinate that with them. I don't want any lawsuits.
Okay, let's ask him. Let's ask John what he thinks.
Yeah, so the issue is one of incompatibility of office. We're happy to look at that.
And
I'd even be more than happy to talk to the general counsel of DWA as well.
Right.
But I think that I think we probably ought to move on so that we're not getting into a non-agendized item from that.
This is
Okay,
going to
thank
be
you.
an
I
agenda.
do know that years ago I had a conflict of interest because I owned a property in Mission Lakes Country Club when we were bringing the sewers, something about the sewers over there. Maybe, I think it was one of the lawsuits with DWA, come to think of it. Anyway, and something about the property over in Mission Lakes Country Club. And we wrote the FPPC in plenty of time, and they actually wrote back in writing their take on it. What was it, a conflict of interest? And they said it was, and therefore another board member, Dorothy Glass, and myself, we had to recuse ourselves from that particular vote.
That's a different, I think that's a different type of issue.
It would be different, but
yeah, this
but
is
I think,
incompatibility of office. And by the
Right.
way, I probably would not, now that I think about, reach out to DWA's attorney because they don't make the determination. We do. Because if you run for an incompatible office, you get elected, you're on that board. And then the question is whether you automatically lose your seat because
Right.
you've got two incompatible offices. But that's probably enough on that subject tonight because it's not an agendized item, but we'll look at it.
thank you very much. Thank you for letting me
Okay.
roll that out.
yeah, no, Steve, it's something that, I've asked for many, many years. So anyway, never, anyway, okay, so that's, let's see, now we have Ivan. Director Sewell, do you have any comments?
No comments. Thank you.
Director Duncan? Randy, do you have any
No, thank
comments?
you.
Close comments?
No,
No, okay. I just wanted to say that I did attend the employee appreciation lunch last month, and it was really nice. It was outside in the courtyard. I thought it was really nice. It was a nice afternoon. The food was good. I have to get again where that delicatessen was. They were really good sandwiches. I know it's in town, but I've never been there. It must be fairly new. Anyway, and Arden gave out a lot of, he did a great job giving kudos to the staff. So I was, I guess, the only one that could make it that day, but it was nice.
Russ was there.
Oh, I'm sorry. You were there. You left. Yes, you were there too. Russ was there and I was there. Sorry, Russ.
Thanks,
Next to me.
thanks to you for coming to it. The staff really appreciated that.
I was cut off from my email, or I might have remembered it showed up, but and so I apologize. I would like maybe some point, and this is reminded me of that, was be a report from staff on what our employee recognitions policy is. When I saw 29 years in the customer service department, I thought to myself, she's dedicated her entire life to this agency. And I just want to make sure that we have an appropriate response to that, because I know my dad did that for his company, and I know a lot of people do, but very few achieve that kind of milestone. And I don't know what the proper thing to do is. I don't know what the legal implications are. But make sure people know that the citizens really do appreciate the work that they're doing, not just the people in the office that they work for. Thanks.
Okay, so nothing else. Arden, do you have anything else?
I do not. Thank you all for asking good questions and being good leaders.
Okay, so if I don't hear anything else, meeting adjourned.